Here's every single reason why you should sell a high ticket offer in 2026. Okay. No matter if you're currently a creator looking to monetize your audience, or if you're already selling low ticket offers on School or WOP, or selling any kind of service online for a low price, right? Or you're just looking to run ads to your offer. Maybe you're offering a nice skill you can teach people. You're offering a service, a software, whatever. The goal of this video is to sell you on why you should price high tickets. Okay. And by the end of this video, you will be sold on high ticket. I'm quite sure, right? I've got a bunch of reasons and data prepared for you guys, which I'm going to run you through, your profit margins, whatever, why it makes sense to switch from low ticket to high ticket as well, or add it as an upsell tier. Okay. By the end of this video, I hope for you that you will be sold on high ticket, because it's probably one of the most profitable business decisions that you can make this year. Okay, so some facts about me. I'm Salman. I'm currently running a marketing agency online as well, right? And what we guys are doing is basically we offer growth and scale services for high ticket business owners. Is we structure the offers, we build everything, all their sales assets, the back end, the automations, and so on. And in the past, what we guys have done is we've created over multiple six figures for our clients. This is, for example, the revenue screenshot that you can see from one of our webinar campaigns, which is essentially like a webinar presentation, right? Where we've created over $167,000 in revenue for these guys with an 8.4x ROAS. We're running warm webinars, cold campaigns, VSLs, like literally everything you can think of. And just recently, we took one of our clients from 50K in depth to over 100K this month. Hopefully, we're already at 60K, 70K, halfway in. We've got some more campaigns coming up. So I think it's quite fair to say that I know a thing or few about selling high ticket in general. And yeah, well, today's agenda is, again, to prove you with math, data, and real examples that high ticket offers is far more profitable than low ticket. I will show you how you can convert your current existing audience. If you're a creator right now, if you've already got like 50K, 100K followers on Instagram, or even more valuable, 5K, 20K, 10K, 20K followers on YouTube, I will show you how you can convert these buyers in a profitable, these views in a profitable business. Okay. I will show you real results from our clients. Okay. And how you can start today and the exact steps that you should take. And by the end, I will also give you a free gift, which is essentially a calculator where I show you exactly how you can break down your current numbers and what kind of profit revenue would be realistic. So what even is high ticket? Maybe most of you guys have never heard about this frame before. So basically, high ticket is everything between 4K to 40K. And before you jump off this video selling, I will never sell a 40K offer. I agree. Okay, these are outliers. These are basically like very, very rare cases. And 4K to 5K is generally the ticket price that we price for most of our clients. Okay, so it's essentially a service or a product that is sold online for a high price, right? And it's an offer that delivers a quite meaningful transformation, because obviously you're charging a high price for it. So better your results and delivery should keep up with this. Okay. And it's usually sold online through a human conversation or a sales call. Obviously, this could also be a real sales conversation right now in this room right next to me. Okay. And before you think, I have never heard about someone selling 40K offers. Well, back then I was working for a software company here in Germany. And essentially what we guys had been doing is we'd been selling software solutions to businesses. And I wasn't a closer there, I was rather a setter. But what these guys had been doing, basically, they were selling offer prices for around 100K, 200K, 300K, because it was an entire software package. Okay. So why should you even sell high prices? First of all, high prices let you personalize the transformation. Okay. High prices mean you offer a higher value and a higher service because it can be personalized, guided, and implemented with you. So what it means in a practice, we can basically essentially have done for you components where we work for our clients. For example, right now we have one of our clients in the Amazon BizUp space who essentially offers prep center services for his clients. Like, right, he's packaging all the stuff up, preparing it, and then sending it to Amazon. He's basically operating the entire fulfillment for them, the entire warehouse. Then we have other clients who do niche research, who are selecting a niche in a YouTube BizUp offer, or in the e-commerce offer they're giving them like pre-wetted products, handing them pre-trained stuff. So a lot of done for you components that we have over there, right? Just think about what would match your current skill or business transformation that you're selling, right? Or service, okay? And then we have done with you components, which are essentially guided mentorships, consulting calls, where you guide them step by step through actively helping them implementing it, okay? And then we have do-it-yourself components, which is information, researches, software, infrastructure, network, and so on, okay? And essentially, we also offer one-on-one support, which would be calls, troubleshooting, accountability, implementation. And the most important thing, high ticket lets us generally tailor most of these strategies. So each client gets a fit for their very own specific situation because the deliverable that we're selling is customized. And this increases the overall value, and most importantly, the perceived value of the offer for the client significantly, okay? So the sold transformational result should generally be much more valuable than the actual ticket price. Okay. And this is what I want you to be aware of. So because I hear a lot of people thinking, oh, I can't sell a 4K offer. I'm not offering enough value. Or think about the ROI that these potential customer would get if they stick to what you're selling them or what you're helping them with. Okay. I think this makes it quite clear on what a high ticket offer essentially is. So what can you guys actually sell, you might be asking? As I said, for example, we have this Amazon BizUp guy in the business niche, right? Who's teaching others to build and scale Amazon businesses. Then we could have SaaS companies who sell high ticket software packages or enterprise solutions. If you're an investment firm, you could sell access to private capital, syndications, or portfolio management. Or if you're offering consulting, business consulting, you could sell your expert knowledge in the area that you're specialized in, right? And of course, also in the health and fitness niche, we've got a couple of high ticket services and offers, for example, cosmetic surgery or medical procedures sold with full guidance and care. Fitness or nutrition programs, all of us guys know that online, right? With one-on-one coaching and accountability, or high-end beauty salons or aesthetic services. So there are really a lot of different things, and generally everything that is generally sold on a call, okay, and has quite a high ticket price is a high ticket offer. Right? So why do we sell high ticket offers on a sales call, you might be asking? Why not simply like direct the person to a checkout page? Well, there's several reasons for that. First of all, nobody books a 5K offer by clicking add to cart, even less a 40K offer, 50K offer. The higher the ticket price, the more objections will generally arise from objections about your offer, your service, you as an organization, or in general. Okay, we're going to talk about the most common objections in right a second. So a sales call gives you the chance to build rapport, trust, and real relationships in 45 minutes. Because nowadays we're living in times where nearly everything is automated with AI. You can literally hide behind your laptop, right? And a lot of business owners are doing this. Like most of the stuff is automated, pre-recorded videos. But just think about how actually valuable and breaking it would be for someone who wants to buy one of your services, and he hops on a sales call with one of your team members who knows everything about you, who knows everything about the offer, and who can help them in their very own specific situation. Most importantly, they see someone on the other end of the line, right? And just instead of just seeing automated stuff. This is a real selling point of a sales call, right? And in real time, our closer can clarify misunderstanding, handle objections, personalize the offer. That's something what we do. We have different offer tiers, and then really like dependent on which kind of situation the lead is in. We will pitch them a different kind of offer as well. We are disqualifying profits. And in the moments before buying, as I said, leads will deal with a lot of questions and last minute objections. For example, will it work? Will I succeed? I have to talk to my spouse first. It's too expensive. I need more understanding. I want you to understand me first of all, and then I want you to understand the entire operation and obviously trust issues. Are you legit? Are these results legit? And so on. Really depends on what you're selling, right? Now, when someone feels understood, the perceived value increases massively. Okay. And a generic ad cart checkout page speaks quite broadly, right? So we really want to make these guys feel understood and really make sure we care about them. Okay. So humans trust in conversations. And another thing of a sales call is, for example, the implications for your customer success. Well, a sales call gives you the chance to control who's coming into your funnel. Okay, so who's buying your offer, right? So essentially, it's a kind of financial qualification that protects you. So because your sales team can assess, is this person serious? Do they have financial resources to invest? Are they coachable? If you're selling coaching, obviously, will they invest in effort? Will they invest effort? Are they likely to see success? And when someone is disqualified in general, right, or just not didn't get the entire program's value, what's actually wanted from them, and maybe it's a done with you service where they actually need to invest effort, then bad clients will heavily lead to and quickly lead to a bad reputation for your brand, and this is the least thing that you actually want. Because financial qualification, the actual sales call, protects your brand and your student results or your client results or whatever you're selling. Again, this is very generalized for the entire high-ticket niche. Well, another important thing of a sales call is the offer conversion. So a sales call generally sees a 20 to 35% conversion on a 4K to 40K offer. Okay, our close rates are generally between 20 to 35%. If they aren't, either lead quality is a problem, then it's the marketing side of things, or it's your sales team. And I'm telling you, in a lot of reasons, it's your sales team. So the checkout page generally only leads to a 3 to 5% conversion. So when you're telling me right now, hey man, I have a sales page on school. Well, you have a 2-minute VSR probably in there, right? A 2-minute video talking about what they can find in the community. Maybe you've written it with AI. This is not a sales page. This can substitute a sales call even less. Okay. So that's why we generally see 3 to 5% conversions on low tickets, if not even lower. Okay. And this would be a $27 to $97 price. Well, high ticket offers are, in my opinion, and I invite you to give me your thoughts on that, the only way to scale reliably. Because you cannot build a sales team selling low ticket offers. And the reason for that is very, very simple. Setters, which are the people setting your appointments, generally charge 5% commissions, and closers charge 10% commissions, right? You don't always need a setter, even though they're quite needed in my opinion. But only for a closer, you would need a 10% commission. And no salesperson will sit down for 30 or 55 minutes to close someone on a $27 offer. It just makes no sense, right? Because they would lastly work for $4.7 or $9.7, and these aren't the kind of sales people that you would on your calls, right? It's like this whole operation is not doable on a sales call. And that's why you can't scale low ticket with sales calls. And that's why the entire low ticket operation has a main bottleneck, because sales calls are an insanely valuable asset to sell your offers. And we know this because we've tested direct checkout page with our webinars as well for our quite mid-ticket offer, lower ticket offer. We've tested all of this stuff, and always, and I will run you through the numbers in just a second, high ticket offers see by far the best results for us. So why shouldn't you sell low ticket? Low ticket is anything between $27 to $479, even a bit higher, stuff like that, right? Most of the communities that you see online, most of the software discounts that you see online, most of the software subscriptions, digital downloads, whatever. Okay. And it's generally sold through a checkout page. It's information based only, which is another big reason why you shouldn't sell low ticket, because information is getting replaced by AI heavily and quickly. And if you can't offer a human or personalized component of all of the stuff, which essentially done for you or done with you service does, especially if it's physical, then you do it yourself offers will decrease just because free information is getting better and better, right? So yeah, and it's impossible to include done for you or done with your components for a $27 price. Makes absolutely no sense, obviously, right? Because you will, assuming you will get in 1,000 customers, I don't want to be a customer success manager at this point, right? So let me run you through the actual numbers really quick. Well, essentially, what we guys have, let me check if I can open this a bit better. Right, so what we guys essentially have is a low ticket versus high ticket comparison, okay? And as you can see over there, I just want to make it like this, perfect. We're assuming, I will just run you through the exact maths right now, why high ticket makes more sense, is more profitable, and I will show you the different data points for this, okay? So let's assume you're currently selling a low ticket offer, okay? You get 1,000 visitors, no matter if they're cold visitors, if they're warm, whatever, okay? Let's say they're warm, they come directly from your YouTube, from your LinkedIn, from your Instagram, whatever. And then you sell a ticket price for $97, $47, $27, okay? So essentially, you get 1,000 people on your landing page. This would be like the people of your visit your school page, your landing page, whatever you're using to sell you a low ticket offer. Then we generally assume a 3% conversion rate on this landing page, if it's a direct checkout page. So you would get 30 sales from 1,000 views, okay, which is quite okay, right? But in terms of the revenue, this would be like for the $97 offer, 2,900, 1,400, and $810 in revenue. You have no call, no qualification, no purchase. This way, you also save yourself the commissions. However, let me run you through the webinar funnel and the VSL funnel, which is essentially the way how we're selling our sales calls with pre-selling assets as well, and how we're doing our marketing around this stuff. And I will run you through the very normal numbers for us right now. Let's assume we're running a warm webinar funnel, okay? We have a ticket price of $5,000, which is industry standard. We're driving 1,000 people to this landing page, okay, warm. We have 600 opt-ins, which is very normal for warm traffic, okay? We have 360 attendees, which would be a 60% show-up rate, and we've even seen 66% show-up rates for our webinars, okay? So then we have a 50% book a call rates. Again, we've seen 20% book a call rates as well. Then we would have around 45 calls. Let me open this real quick. 45 calls. So essentially, yeah. Then we would say 85% attend the calls, right? As you can see over there. We would then get 35% closes and close rate. So 16 closes in general, and 16 closes on a 5K offer would be $80,000 in revenue. Okay. So this is from the exact same amount of visitors just when we're running them through a webinar funnel. Sure, I won't lie. This is correlated with a lot more work on the back end, with show-up sequences, with back-end automations, with a webinar presentation, with you as the offer owner actually sitting down and hosting a webinar for 2 hours. But if 2 hours can make you such a significant difference in revenue, why shouldn't you, right? And then we have our VSL funnel, which is essentially our kind of a $24/7 asset, similar to the one that you currently have to sell your low ticket community if you're selling low ticket, but we're just using it to essentially sell our call, right? So the VSL, the only objective of this VSL funnel is to sell the call, to get people to book in a call and make sure they qualified, because we're qualifying them as well. Then we would assume we get again 1,000 visitors, 5 calls are generally booked. Makes a lot of sense, right? Then we have 50 calls, 40 show ups, 12 closes, $60,000 revenue. Okay. Assuming the same exact amount of traffic. And yeah, obviously, when you're running warm traffic, you won't always be able to send 1,000 visitors to your pages. That's why you should scale. That's why you should use the warm traffic best practices. But this is just the very general maths. And I know a lot of you will right now say, hell yeah, but you need to pay the sales team. You need to pay the customer success. You need to pay the XYZ stuff. Sure, that's why I've prepared a full profit comparison for you guys as well. So we've got the webinar funnel, the VSL funnel. And by the way, guys, what we guys do is we combine webinars with VSLs and create something like a funnel ecosystem. So in general, our conversions are even higher than what you see over there because we use both of this stuff consistently, warm and cold. Okay. However, let's just run through the basic maths here. So again, this is what we just talked about a second ago. Okay, this was the gross revenue. Now here we have the payment fees of around, I think this was 2 to 3% over here, right? Per transaction, depending on the payment provider that you use. We have the sales team commissions. They could even be a bit higher here, depending if you have a setter. On webinars, a setter is generally not that needed. We have software costs, which could be more or less the same. Sure, for a webinar, it might be a bit higher as well, right? Then we have CSM support, refunds, churn, CSM support being a bit higher for webinars and VSLs because the onboarding will take a bit more since it's personalized, guided, and so on, right? We have the churn with generally a higher churn rate for low ticket because this is what we guys see. When you're selling a lower ticket offer, people are less committed. And when you're selling a high ticket offer instead, our churn rates are slower. Obviously, the percentage, so the amount of churn based on the offer price will be higher. That's where you've seen a higher churn number over here. Total costs much higher here, but lower here in the low ticket, right? But in relation to the actual revenue, it isn't, right? And that's what we're talking about. The profit margin is 73% over here, 71%. And even though we have quite a significant amount of costs for the VSL funnel and the webinar funnel, keep in mind this costs only, this aren't fixed costs. These are variable costs, right? And they vary depending on the amount of sales calls that you're getting in. So if you wouldn't have any sales call, you wouldn't pay because obviously your sales team, you won't have to pay them commissions. And the commissions are one of the biggest cost parts for you right now. But as you can see, this is how much net profit we would generate from 1,000 visitors. Again, guys, assuming that these visitors, all the practices that I'm breaking down here right now won't happen for you if you don't know how you should design your marketing, your offer, your show up sequences, your backend. But this is just what's possible for you. Okay. And if you're looking to monetize, you should have these things dialed in. So just as you can see over there, we've got a much higher profit margin because of the high ticket price and a higher net profit as well. And we're talking about software costs. The ratio between low ticket revenue and software costs is much higher compared to high ticket price and software costs as well. Just another example, right? And sure, we can factor in another 5K plus for customer success management. If you're paying a coach or whatever, you could even factor in 10K, whatever, right? But as you can see, then automate is automatically, by the way. This would still give us a much higher net profit per money that we're putting in, and essentially a much higher ROAS. And this is what we're going to talk about in right a second as well. So I think at this point you can see why selling a low ticket offer just doesn't make sense logically. It makes sense, obviously. So I'm not against selling a low ticket offer in general. I'm just about, sure, you can sell a low ticket offer to like liquidate the less affluent part of your audiences right now. But if you have the chance to sell a high ticket offer, and if you actually are selling a valuable offer or service and can provide value to your customers, there's no reason why you should sell low ticket right now. Okay. And again, this is just from experience. So now we're going to talk about another thing why high ticket offers matter that much, and many more logical reasons that aren't just based on math or data, but that are very based on human psychology. Okay, and essentially how you can scale this entire operation. Well, first of all, I heard this thing from Alex Hormozy, and it was very interesting. Who's, by the way, selling low ticket, but he's mainly selling to the general public with his low ticket offer, and he has a very, very, very high ticket offer for businesses. Okay, and this is where he's making most of his money. Well, so essentially, as you can see over there, revenue is your customer count times your customer value. So there are basically two ways to increase your overall revenue, how much your business makes a month, right? You either increase the number of customers, which means you increase the support headache, you increase the software cost, you increase churn as well, and CSM costs. Okay. And with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 customers, this will be a very difficult operation, or you simply make them worth more. And higher prices allow you bigger profit margins, as we've seen with the data example, right? And you can then reinvest your profits into scaling, ads, or automation. And a very important other point is client quality. So if you think about who would buy a high ticket offer, people who would buy a high ticket offer are serious and motivated, right? They are invested financially and psychologically because they committed to your service, what you sell them with their very own money, which is around 5K plus. So they are committed. They want to see results. And that's why they're more likely to see supreme results if it's a more done for you approach as well. Okay. And less clients mean you get less support overhead. Okay. Because you just manage less clients and they're worth more, right? Makes sense. It's a very, very simple equation. Now, low ticket buyers are generally price shoppers. If you're selling an offer for $27, for $47 or whatever, just think about who would get in there. There are the tire kickers. They have a low commitment. They just want to check out, compare your stuff. They're looking for the cheapest price out there. This is the kind of customer that you're attracting with a low ticket offer. Okay. And it makes sense because you can just not offer that much value as a high ticket one. Okay. And low ticket requires mass customer success management for thousands of buyers. Just think about how many churns, complaints, headaches, refunds, stuff that you would have to do with a low ticket offer. Okay. Longevity. High ticket offers require personal interaction with your team, a customer success manager, a personal consultant. That's what I'm saying. Don't think that you will be there in the trenches all the time. We automate most of the stuff for our clients. We have something like a VIP ticket, for example, for this Amazon guy, where the guys pay like 12K and then they get some customized support with our client, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But for the lower priced offers, they get just like rather done with your services. And yeah, this personal interaction with your team or your customer success manager or whoever builds deep trust, okay? Because people see you lifetime, they see you live, they see you on calls, on consulting, you doing stuff for them, and it builds much more trust, which then leads to a higher customer lifetime value because these people know you already, they trust you, they trust your team, and it gives you much more potential for upsells, for even more customized support. Just the same thing that we currently have for our Amazon BizUp client, where we have like a 6K offer. And then when the guys like what they've seen and they want more support, they want more services, they want the prep service, they want the buyers group and stuff like that, they can double their current ticket price and upsell to 12K, pay the difference, we'll get all the services there as well. And low ticket buyers may abandon or fail without guidance, and you will lose them as potential customers because you can't just, it's not possible for you to be invested for 1,000 customers. And yeah, it's just not doable. Another thing is that price ensuring makes significant upsells nearly impossible for low ticket offers. So let's say I want to sell someone from a $27 offer to a $1,027 offer. He's like, okay, I paid $27 for this. Now I'm getting more. And I need to pay what? $1,027? So it's just psychology based, even though it's the same upsell amount. To go from 5K to 6K seems much easier for us as humans, right? Because you already invested a grand sum, you're more likely to invest more because you're also seeing better results, okay? And this is the next thing, results. A high ticket offer delivers actual results and transformations at a much larger scale, okay? Done with you and done for you models ensure clients, that they ensure the client actually implements what you're teaching and will succeed, okay? So clients are much more committed because of the financial investment. And it gives you a higher quality of student results, client results that you can then leverage in your marketing. Just think about this. If you have a client and you're offering them done with you support with you or your team, consulting, you doing stuff for them, obviously they will see better results than someone who just gets free information, for example, right? And this is very beneficial for your brand longevity. Yeah, then we also have the premium positioning, and this is interesting. So high prices immediately position you as a premium expert, okay, not as a commodity seller. They attract way more serious and affluent leads and elevate your prestige in the market, okay? Because people think, this guy is selling a high-priced offer with a lot of customized and tailored service. It seems like he's an expert, okay? And high prices enable a level of service that's impossible with low ticket offers. This is the customization, the accountability, the support, the done for you components. You can't manage this entire operation logistically with a low ticket offer, okay? So high prices are essentially your branding. And if you think that this just doesn't work, I want you to look at all the luxury brands out there, okay? Now, if we look at a luxury brand out there, okay, Rolex, Bentley, whatever, do you think that their products, or even Louis Vuitton, all that stuff out there, do you think that their products are much more high qualitative than the competitors? Sure, they are. Definitely, they are. This is premium material, okay, but a lot of people are buying the status as well. It's the psychology of luxury. So 70% of luxury buyers equate higher prices with better quality. And it's not always essentially better quality. For our offers, it is obviously, right? But you can basically command prices that reflect the entire transformation, the status, the feelings, everything that they connect with them, and not just the information. And if you're chasing higher prices, you're basically racing to the top, okay? Because the only opportunity is to go up, sell an even higher priced offer, okay? However, and this is what a lot of people do, and this is so essential, you can really have everything dialed in right now in your marketing, like literally everything. But if you get this thing wrong, you will race to the bottom, okay? If you're chasing discounts, if you're chasing lower prices, if you're price competing with your competitors, you will race to the bottom, because you will attract these kind of customers that are searching for lower prices, okay? You will attract these tire kickers. So don't do that, all right? Stick to the race to the top and charge premium prices that come with a premium positioning. Another, and you see there are a couple of reasons coming up as well. Another reason for why you should sell a high ticket offer is qualification. So high ticket calls filter for serious clients, as I said earlier, right? Like we can basically triage out leads that are unserious, what we can't do with a checkout page. They disqualify poor fits, ensure better client experiences, and fewer headaches. And it's also very important for pixel conditioning. And right now, don't trip, okay? I know pixel conditioning, ads, marketing might sound like a foreign language to you, but what I essentially want to say, a pixel is something like a tracking code, okay? And the more people I drive to this page, that actually buy my stuff or book a call with me, these are the exact people I'm sending back to Meta, and Meta will then optimize for these people even more. So it's like a loop, okay? And based on the kind of people I'm getting in there, based on the kind of people that are buying my stuff, it will attract more of these people, all right? And there's no way how you can like prevent this. So high ticket conditions your pixel to find buyers with significant purchasing power. Like you literally have a pixel out there who's a cold killer and attracts only leads who want, or mostly leads who are money to invest. They're serious because it's based on the data, and Meta has over 56,000 data points on every single user of us right now. Okay. And it's based on the data of leads who already bought a 5K offer. Now imagine you run ads and you send them and you report for a low ticket offer, and you report leads back that bought a $27 offer. You will get more of these cheap leads. You know what I'm saying? And they will never convert on a high value offer. That's why sustainable paid advertising, okay, is one of the biggest reasons to sell high ticket. Because our cost per acquisition for a low ticket offer is much higher because we have a lot of friction there. And less people are likely to actually buy a $35 offer from a checkout page, okay? And sometimes our ROAS, this is like a 2 to 3x ROAS on low ticket, is very, very high, okay? And sometimes a lot of low ticket campaigns struggle to remain profitable. So with high ticket, we see a 7 to 10x ROAS. We've just recently launched a webinar, which will probably get us a 10x ROAS. We're seeing 8.3x ROAS consistently, okay? And this ROAS is sometimes even based on a $500 cost per acquisition. So basically, you pay $500 for one customer. But because your customer value is much higher, the entire operation becomes much more scalable and operational, right? So I want to run you real quick through the exact numbers, and for all of the advertisers out there who are watching this video right now, it will be very, very basic, but I think this will be able to help you a lot. So just look at this. Let's say we're spending $10,000 on ads, and here we have a 5K offer, here we have our $97 offer, okay? Now, we will generate more traffic for the low ticket offer, okay? However, our cost per click will be lower, right? The people who click on there for low ticket offer will generally be lower because we attract lower quality leads. However, let's say we're going to make 16 customers out of a 10K offer, 10K spend, which is quite, normal, quite conservative, to be honest, which would generate us around 80K revenue for the high ticket offer. Let's say we make $134 customers, so basically sales, right? Customers for the low ticket offer, which is still a lot on a 10K spend, right? But this would only get us a 13K revenue. So basically a 1.3x ROAS for the low ticket one, and a 8.0x ROAS, so an 8x ROAS, basically an 8x return on your ad spend for the higher ticket one. Okay. And then we have obviously all the commissions in here, the software tools, customer support, which is more refunds, which would be a higher amount here, churn. And our total costs are higher for this entire operation, okay? And you see our net profit might even be negative for the low ticket operation, okay? And this is especially if you don't know how to write ads correctly, if you don't optimize your landing page for the best practices. So you can see how much more profitable, talking about net profit, our entire high ticket operation will be, okay? And obviously our ROI, or return on investment on ad spend. You could even deal with a negative ROI for a low ticket campaign. Because you're attracting these low ticket leads, they're still going through quite a lot of friction. And what you're getting is a very, very low price. Okay. That's why it's difficult to sell to cold traffic with a low ticket offer. And I think that this makes it very, very, very clear. And there are a lot more reasons I could dive in right now, but I don't want to make this video too techy. So, yeah, just this from this side of things. Another reason for selling high ticket, and we aren't done yet, guys, is high ticket offers naturally create scarcity. simply because you can only serve so many clients, right? Makes sense. Done for you, done with your components. Scarcity increases demand and positions your offer as valuable, but only if it's real. So fake scarcity could be like weird price increasements. You say something like, yo, my low ticket offer is increasing $5 next week. Take action right now. People will notice this kind of stuff, right? But if there's real scarcity, if you say, okay, look, because we want to guarantee the best results for our clients and we have limited capacity right now, because basically our services require a lot of effort from my customer success team, from my team, generally from our end, and we can only take on a cup ahead of you. So make sure you book on a call because we've only got limited spots available, because my team can only take on so many calls and we can only take on so many clients to guarantee results, right? People want to get in there. It creates like this golf club VIP stuff. Okay. Next thing would be overcome objections. Yeah, so I basically want to overcome some of your objections out there, because when I'm talking to a lot of potential clients for our agency or just consulting guys on that, I hear a lot of objections, and they're nearly always the same. Objection number one, I get this from creators, is my audience can't afford it. And I want to tell you, do you really know every single person of your audience? And if you're selling something valuable and you're not making completely like entertainment content, obviously, if you're an entertainer or if you're selling to 13-year-olds with your content, this video isn't for you. But assuming that you've watched so much of this video, I highly rate that your audience, yes, can afford it, and you only need a tiny, tiny fraction of your audience to build a six-figure operation. Don't think that everyone there needs to convert. You really need a handful of customers. If you only get 5 customers on a 5K offer, this would already be 25K for you this month, okay? Another reason is I don't want to be salesy. And I really don't get this one. You selling an offer, you selling a service, a price, and you're not taking a gun and pointing at someone's head saying buy. They can still buy, and especially if it's a higher price, it's their decision. So high ticket selling is consultative, right? And a sales call is 80% listening, understanding if your program would be a fit. So normally what we always say as sales is like being a doctor. You listen to someone, you see if you can actually help them, and if you can help them, if they're in the right situation, if they have money to invest as well, because obviously they need money to invest in your service, then you will close them. And it's more or less your obligation if you can help them. Okay. Now, another objection is I don't feel good with charging 4K, and I really understand this, guys. 4K might seem a lot for a service that you're offering, but I want you to think in terms of ROI. So the value depends on the perceived value for your customer. How much is the transformation that you're selling worth to them? How much would they be able to make if it's a business offer, BizOp offer, what you're offering? Obviously, if it's another kind of service, measured rather in dream outcome. But how much would they be able to make with this transformation? And if you offer done for you, done with your components, and you know what you're doing, you're an expert in your area, 4K isn't that much, to be honest, okay? And you should charge higher prices to deliver higher value. If you don't feel good with charging 4K offer, it's kind of like saying, I don't feel good with delivering a lot of value to my customers. You know what I'm saying? So next question is, how can I actually start selling high ticket? And I've prepared a full high ticket beginner's guide for you guys. So if you're currently selling low ticket, if you're looking to transition into high ticket, you just want to monetize your audience, monetize your skill, your experience. This is basically what you should do. So first of all, customer research. You should run some polls, surveys, and questions to understand your audience's biggest problems. Do it on Instagram, for example, right? Question could be, if I launch a new program to help you achieve desired outcome, what would help you the most? What would you like to have in there? Okay. How could I help you the best way possible? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now in this area? How much would you invest in a program that guarantees specific transformation? Keep in mind, people will probably lie a bit here, right? So rather go with the higher priced offer, and then figure out what they want, how much they're willing to pay for it. This is essential. Immediate customer research and polls are an amazing way to do this. So simply set up a type form or a tally or whatever, and you're basically good to go. Then craft the high ticket offer. And this is the heart of the entire operation, okay? You should then take these points that your customers are giving you and craft a solution for each of the pain points, a deliverable, a bonus, a done for you component, a done with you component, okay? A do it yourself component. And I've recorded a full, I think another 40 or 50-minute offer guide about exactly how to do this step by step, how we're currently doing this for our clients. And we just recently, for example, this Amazon BizUp guy, he was selling his offer for 7.5K. We've increased it to 12K, okay? It's essentially the same deliverables. We've added some stuff, but we've increased it to 12K because we were like, man, you're charging way too less for this. So we're actively doing this right now, right? I'm not talking about theory. And then the next step would be to build a sales team. And this is probably one of the most important parts of this process, because we've seen it ourselves with our clients that a difference in sales skills can double, triple, or quadruple the revenue that you're making with this entire operation. So really look for a good salesperson. And there are opportunities to hire from pre-trained sales networks. And we're actually launching an offer right now in the European market with one of our sales managers who's close for Iman Gaji, maybe you know him. And we will basically work together with him, build a big sales community as well, networks. And one of some of our closers right in there, you're working with our with this guy who closed to Iman Gaji, is already closing on one of our offers and absolutely killing it, to be honest. So I have the opportunity in a couple of months to offer you very, very, very well trained sales stuff. And I know there are a lot of job boards out there right now, if it's like Jackson's job board, but be aware that really having someone who's trained and coming from a community and basically teach on the exact kind of stuff that we, for example, doing right now in our agency, and we're getting like 20, 30, 40% close rates, makes a huge difference. So the salesperson should understand the offer in depth, handle objections naturally, be aligned with your brand and tone, master scriptless selling and tonality, don't follow a rigid framework, okay? And should give EOD, end of the day reports plus feedback. Then the next step that you should do, if you have all this set up and obviously the back end as well, would be you should max out your organic traffic first before you decide to run ads. If you already have a school community or you're offering a low ticket price or whatever, present the high ticket offer as an upsell. Say something like, yo, I'm launching a special operation. I'm only taking on a couple of the most invested students and so on. Click below to find out more about this. And then you're selling them to a webinar or you're sending them to a BSL page. For a low ticket community, I would rather make a VSL, probably makes more sense. Then a bunch of leads from your current low ticket community will upgrade, okay? Then once you've done this, obviously, if you don't have a low ticket community or you have engagement on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever, you want to focus on your current engagement there, optimize your profile and your links, embed the CTAs in your content to your high ticket page, promote everything organically with posts, stories, reels, sequences, carousels, videos, and maximize warm traffic first, because it's just when someone already likes and trusts you and knows you're delivering valuable content, it's so easy for you to monetize this kind of audience. And really scaling with code has to be learned. This gives you the time to dial in your offer and your delivery as well before you actually spend money for traffic acquisition. So then the next step would obviously be going code. And this is where you can really scale the entire operation if you know how to do it correctly. Now, what I've prepared for you guys is basically a high ticket revenue forecaster, which would help you already assess how much you could make. First of all, guys, I just want to make sure I'm not promising you anything in there. The entire thing here depends on your very own execution and on the offer that you're offering, on the niche that you're in, on the backend system that you have set up, on the sales team that you have, on the way you're doing your marketing. If you're running webinar campaigns, if you're running them with the best webinar practices, talking about traffic acquisition, show-up system, main email list promo, email marketing, follow-up sequences, a lot of stuff And as you can see on my channel, I have a couple of videos on this entire best campaign practices. But just want to show you what becomes possible. And these are like generally the rates that we see with clients that we work with right now. Okay, this is based on this conversion rates. You will see it. So let's assume you're running organic content. You're selling an offer price for 5K. Okay, you're doing like, let's say 4 videos a month. You're getting 2K views per video, and it will tell you how much money you could make with this. Okay, from based on 4 videos a month at 2K views each, you would have so many views, so many link clicks, so many calls booked. For this is the VSL funnel, this is the webinar funnel projection, and sales closed. It shows you a nice diagram, so you can really do this on your own. And also for paid traffic, based on your ad spend, based on how much you want to spend right now, based on your offer price, you can do the exact same thing. And keep in mind, again, this is based on what we currently see across our clients in terms of show up rates, call rates, close rates, ROAS, cost per acquisition. Okay. Now, you can completely go out there and smash it on your own. I think this gives you a very, very good overview of how to start right now to sell high ticket. Really keep in mind the offer is the service delivery is the main part of this entire project. This is where you should invest most of the time in. Now, if you want us guys to come in there and really like come in there and implement our systems on our entire operation that we're currently doing to scale various of our clients to multiple 6 figures a month, just feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at simon.hasman or book a free consulting call with me on my website, growinginfo.com. And we would really show you how we can do literally every single step of this process for you. Build the customer fulfillment. Obviously, the service fulfillment is a kind of part that we're generally leaving for you, but we're supporting you there as well. We have a customer CRM, we have customers success management network as well. We have a customized reminders, onboarding automations, automated DocuSign automation, like literally everything you can think of. This is just the CSM side of things that we're doing for you guys as well. We're also implementing the entire automation system, so the entire backend basically based on what's working well for us. We're writing the entire sales copy, VSLs, so video sales letters, webinars, we're writing the entire email promo, ads, most importantly. So we're currently scaling most of our clients completely cold, which is generally much more difficult than to do it with a warm traffic. You will notice if you've tried to run cold ads before. So we literally do everything. We call ourselves like as an agency who literally does everything for you guys. Okay, so if you're curious on having some more information about what we guys actually do for you, again, book that call with me or reach out to me on Instagram. And I hope this video was quite valuable for you. And I hope that by now you're sold on, starting your very own high ticket offer in 2026. Okay, this was the main goal here. Take care, guys.